Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this one, we are going to be doing our post-match review for the match that we just witnessed between the All Blacks and the Wallabies, the second of the Bledisloe Cup and the last for both of these sides of the Rugby Championship. As you can see beside me, that is the end score. The All Blacks victorious 40 points to 14 over the Australians. The try scorers throughout this game, Will Jordan was able to convert the first one in the 22nd minute penalty try for the ABs, which actually led to the second yellow card for the Australians. Then Sam Whitelock, Cody Taylor, and also the one player who wasn't a Crusaders player, other than, I guess, penalty try, wouldn't be considered a Crusader. Samisoni Takiaho coming off the bench and scoring himself the try. Then for the Wallabies, for Lau Whaingaa, he was able to get himself one. And right at the end of the game, in the 80th minute, it was the try for Jordan Petaia. But throughout this live stream, we're going to be looking at some stats, going to be looking at how the implications of the Rugby Championship now sit with the game between the Springboks and the Pumas only a little while away. So looking through, first of all, at the way the table sits. Now, I did have the table from before the match. We'll give you an updated version now. So this was before. Now the All Blacks, they are sitting still on 14 points. They have not updated their website yet, but they will be sitting now on 19 points after the bonus point victory with a points differential of plus 67. Now, that is quite a margin, which means that South Africa, to win the Rugby Championship, need to win their game up against Argentina by a bonus point win plus around that 40-point mark to be able to get themselves over the line in the comp. Australia, they don't receive the bonus point in this game. Their points differential will actually drop to minus 52, which means if Argentina get themselves a losing bonus point, they will finish third in the Rugby Championship, and Australia, they will finish in fourth. But do let me know what you guys thought of the game overall. What were the decisions you thought were good? What were the tries that you enjoyed watching being scored? Do let me know. And also, sorry about that last comment, Average. I know it wasn't directed at me, though, Mr. JJ. I know it was directed at that the other fella that was in the chat. And very few times we see Australia being dominated by the Kiwis. Says Coding and right. Stats. Let's hear him, baby. Says Marco and also tight game. Says James Cody. And also back-to-back and back again. Says Golden Guess. Yeah, currently a 3-match winning streak for the All Blacks, which is something that is a rarity as of late, I guess you could say. And Summy is lit AF. Says Golden Guess. Yeah, Samisoni Takiaho. It seems to be whether they bring him off the bench or he's in the starting lineup, he is still going to be a very dangerous threat for any side that he comes up against. O'Dear says Distracted Sports. Yeah, a little bit more one-sided than a lot of people were anticipating for this contest. Samisoni is my new favorite All Black. I mean, I love that tank of a man, says Marco, and also all bollocks go. And there says Shane, and go the Box. Need to win by 40. And the thing is, South Africa are the kind of side who can do just that. They just, when they know that their back's against the wall, that's one thing I love about watching the Springboks. They know when they need to turn it up. And this game in South Africa is going to be one where they need to turn it up to 110. They need to keep on playing hard, not taking on the threes, because those threes are not going to get you a Rugby Championship title, but a whole heap of tries could. Should be a very exciting one. There go Penrith Panthers, says EJ, and A Distractor, says Obi. And also we have got there, so that gives New Zealand 4 out of 11, says Mr. JJ. 4 out of 11. 4 out of 11. I assume that is that in recent times, although in the Rugby Championship they have got themselves 4 wins at the moment. The 2 losses, good points differential, and they finish on 19 points. All they can do now is sit back, maybe stay up till the middle of the night. I'd like to think they'll be watching the Box game eagerly. Some of the players won't be able to sleep, though, if they do try it, just because there's a lot on the line. Like I mentioned, Amin Brothers got a bit of work on. Still a good result tonight. Still have a chance to take it, says Andrew. And also, well done, boys. All Blacks for life. Let's go Argentina, says Roykus. Yeah, that is one of those big things. That is also a possibility. What if we see Argentina go out there and they just do extremely well up against South Africa? It could be a close game. When is the Argentina and the Springboks game playing? So, remembering in New Zealand, we've got daylight saving. It is a 4:05 a.m. kickoff, which really, without the daylight saving, works out to be 3:05. But because at 2 a.m. we put our clocks forward a little bit, it does mean that we are a little bit muddled for that one. So we're going to be doing a bit of time traveling on one of our other live streams. Roger Tovasashik in the league will make 20 tackles and run 200 meters, and Union 2 tackles, 10 meters ran, and Nose Candy, they'll be up, says Mr. JJ. Okay, question. If you were the Wallabies, what would you change? The team and the coach, or the team and coach? I mean, there's a few changes that I think do need to be made. But at the end of the day, you can't blame the coach for dropping the ball 15 times out on the field. That is all Wallabies. Yes, some of the plays, maybe they weren't quite gelling in that regard. That could be down to the selection, but some of those drop balls were just very basic stuff. Just hold the ball. That is about as simple, and one of the first things you learn in rugby. So the fact that they did drop so many in this matchup, I think really cost them big time. But looking through at this matchup that we did just witness between New Zealand and Australia, there's some pretty decent stats for individuals throughout this matchup. First of all, though, New Zealand in that second half, remembering what I said at halftime, how Australia had 209 running meters compared to the All Blacks 270. At the end of the game, Australia 372. So they made about 160 meters in that second half, whereas the All Blacks, they were able to tick over 350 or so extra meters, getting 610 meters carried. Defenders beaten 29 compared to the 11 that the Wallabies had. 8 clean breaks for the All Blacks to the 4 of the Wallabies. And then the offloads, we did see a few more from the Wallabies in that second half, but the All Blacks still had more with the 9. We have got their Razor ain't going there. He knows that. And also no team give the ABs a hard time at line-out other than the Wallers. And it takes forced changes before Fozzie plays guys in their right position like Geordie, says Cooper Cronk. Looking through at a few of the other stats that we did have, the penalties conceded, we saw 13 against the All Blacks, 0 cards given. Probably a little bit lucky at times for them in that game. I felt there was one that Dalton Papali'i possibly could have found himself receiving a yellow card. Oh, it actually came through as almost yellow that time, which is quite nice. No ones of these, though, which is very good news because it's been a long time since we've had a game of rugby that hasn't had, well, actually, I'm going to change that statement. It's been a long time since we've had a round of the Rugby Championship that hasn't had a red card or some sort of one that could have been a red is the other way I'll word it, referring to maybe last week. In time for the Box to step up now, says Ibrahim. Yep, they know exactly what they need to do. Beat the Pumas with a bonus point and win it by 40 points. The Pumas are going to make it tough, though. Any chance they get, I would think they'll strategically be taking on the 3s just to keep on adding a little bit more pressure, make the Springboks have to play more aggressively, and then maybe that's when the mistakes start to slot in. And also pick up the All Blacks. Let's go. And hi, Hamish says, I welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. But the Wallabies giving away 16 penalties, including 2 yellow cards. And one of those yellow cards was actually for the very first penalty that they did end up giving away throughout the match. In South Africa, we produced beasts and oxen to play our rugby. In Australia, their captain is known as Slippery Slipper. Or Slippy Slipper, says John Smith. And also, that's the one, says Nathan. And All Blacks in Australia both deserved a red card at least once, says Tian. Looking through, though, at some of the running meters for the players out there on the park. Will Jordan, 1 try, 119 meters carried, 9 carries, 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, and also made a few passes along the way. Rieko Ioane, 100 meters carried, 4 carries, 4 defenders beaten, and the 1 clean break. And then Geordie Barrett, he actually had 82 meters, 17 carries, 7 defenders beaten. Very good day at number 12 for one of the Barrett brothers. Bowden at number 15, we didn't really see him too much. He had a couple moments early on in the game, but other than that, there wasn't a huge amount of Bowden Barrett to be seen. Looking through at the forwards, the most effective of the forwards for the Kiwis in terms of running meters was Ardie Savia, 52 meters carried in the 9 carries, 2 defenders beaten, and 1 clean break. And 40's a big ass, says Mr. JJ. It is, although we have seen the Pumas be defeated by 40 so far throughout this Rugby Championship. That was actually by New Zealand in round number 4. We have got hello from China, says Rob Rocks. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Let go, says Jane. Was South Africa have to win by 3 more tries and with a 40-point margin. Pretty much there. And like him at centre, says Julian. That's the thing. At the start of the year, I actually decided that I would pick Geordie Barrett as my number 12 for this year. And Foley says Mr. JJ. So, I almost said Andrew Foley, but Bernard Foley, he had the most running meters out of any Australian player, 86 meters carried. And then Pete Samu once again impressed in that number 7 jersey, having a total of 42 meters. To be fair, wanting to win by 40 points means we definitely get the 3 tries needed, says Dan. Yep. I don't think we'll see too many 3-point attempts from the Springboks, other than maybe in the first 10 to 15 minutes, just for that feeling out process. After that, they'll go guns blazing. Absolutely throwing everything into it. And we'll have to wait and see how it does end up going. And also we have got there in the chat, it's time to hang up my rocket. Or my racket, sorry, says Roger. I was excited to see how Franz goes at 10. I read somewhere he hasn't been at fly half for the Bok in over 10 years. That is very true. And he's going up against a man who is 11 years younger than himself, I believe, or something along those lines. So over a decade experience, but is it experience if Frans Steyn has not played at fly half in so long? It's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. And also, can the Springbok do it? Says Adam. They've got the potential. They've got a strong lineup for their upcoming game. So, yeah, you cannot count out the Springboks, that is for sure. But also, you can't count out the Pumas. As soon as you underestimate Argentina, that is when you get beaten. A lot of All Black supporters found that out in that third round of the Rugby Championship. And also what happened to Will Jordan, I didn't watch the game, just heard he is injured. So he had an ankle injury. I believe he got it landed on awkwardly by Andrew Callaway when he did go up for the ball. So Callaway went up, Jordan was underneath, and then just fell awkwardly. Hopefully nothing too serious. He did go off the field at the time, though. There, John Smith said, South Africa can't do it by 40, says it was Robert. And also, we were there. Do you play tennis, says Roger? I have played tennis a little bit in the past, not professionally, though. And Bowens won't be a walkover, says Arno Brown. Exactly right. And like I mentioned, as soon as you underestimate that side, that is when they can really, really make you pay. And it's going to be a cracker later. Well done to the All Blacks. Think it's too much for the Bok today, says Lee Jean. But I should mention we are still going to be doing our live stream for Argentina versus the South Africans. That is going to be at 4:05 a.m. New Zealand time. So quite a late night, but early for myself. So I have a weird sleep schedule. For the tackling stats, this is extremely impressive. Dalton Papali'i, 19 tackles, 1 turnover, 1. That's the kind of tackling stat an open side flanker should have, which is something that the All Blacks have been lacking a little bit in the past. Akira Ioane, he had 9 tackles made at halftime, yet he didn't make any in the second half. Sam Whitelock, he managed to get to 10 in there. And then for the Wallabies, 13 tackles made by Kadra Neville, 12 by Alalatoa, 10 by Samu with 2 turnovers, 1, and also 10 by Dave Parecki. A couple of the backs had 9, Callaway and also Len Ikitau. But there weren't too many players for the Wallabies who didn't miss a tackle out of the starting lineup. It was only Alan Alalatoa, Jed Holloway, Kadra Neville, and also Harry Wilson. That's emotional, says Roger. And also we have got there, how do you think Caleb Clark went? Looked dangerous early on. Didn't see a huge amount of him afterwards, though. After that first kind of 20-minute spell. I want to see more Roger game time and outstanding player Tyrell Lomax, says Arno Brown. And also, who was man of the match in your opinion, Hamish? I would give it to Will Jordan. I think the way that he was able to create the space early on, got himself that try, but even after getting the try, he was still able to do very nicely to be able to stop the, I guess, what was I going to say there? It was going to be a dig at Rico Ioane for not passing the ball, but I decided to catch myself halfway through. He passed the ball well, Will Jordan, which is what you need for player in the backline. Damian McKenzie and Julian Savia, the train must return. And the All Blacks, says Louis Adam, and also, yes, my All Blacks we are great, says Adam, and excited for All Blacks now for the end of year tour. Thoughts on today's performance? It looked a lot more like past All Blacks. You know, they only had about 2 or 3 handling errors, somewhere along those lines in that first half, whereas Australia was sitting almost in double figures by the time we got into the second. So that made it very tough on them to be able to find their momentum. By the end of the game, I believe they were up to about 17 or 18 handling errors for the Wallabies. And you just can't win games when you are giving the opposition the ball that often. And Fozzie said he doesn't really see Geordie at 12, says Cooper Cronk. No, next is probably put Geordie at fly half for Ian Foster just to see how it goes. We've been spoiled with the class rugby on a show in this championship, or on show in this championship. Sorry, I said that very weird, didn't I? There was an epic match, says John, and also Fozzie will bring Kane back, says Cooper Cronk, and also, yes, we need Sam Kane on the bench. And that I can agree with that a little bit. I don't think Satutu's much of a bench player, just because, yes, he hasn't had a huge amount of minutes as of late, but he didn't really do a whole lot since coming on the field, I don't feel. He had one meter carry off one carry, made a couple passes, but I think there are better options in that loose forward trio. Someone like an Ethan Blackadder, perhaps, when he does come back from his injury, or maybe Cullen Grace, Luke Jacobson. I can think of a few could be quite handy in the near future. And Geordie hasn't played 9 yet, says Roger. That is true. Maybe that is just around the corner for Geordie Barrett. He's about 2 meters tall. Maybe give himself game at lock alongside Scott Barrett. The Barretts and the locks. And I'll say he's way too tall for a half, says Mr. JJ. And I'll say South Africa have to win by 40, says Scott Jones. They certainly do. And with a bonus point by scoring 3 or more tries, then the opposition All Blacks will win, says Gerhard. And also we have got there in the chat, Fozzie can remain as coach. Just hope Razor made the selection, says Trust. Because currently I believe they have been going with, it's actually Joe Schmidt as the main selector for the ABs. Hi everyone, I'm Sean from South Africa. Welcome in, Sean from South Africa. I hope you are doing very well. Must be around lunchtime almost for yourself. I believe that there are quite a few braais going on. At the moment, where's Craig Cooper when we needed him? He is injured. He is now just learning how to walk again, unfortunately for him. I don't know why he had to learn how to walk in his budgie smugglers, but that's what he sent on the Instagram for the world to see. But yeah, he's only just at the stage of slightly limping and slightly dragging the leg along. So he's going to be out for probably another 6 months or so, I would say, maybe 3 months if he's lucky, starting front row for the Kiwis, best in the world. Says Arno Brown there. And also Auckland had a half that was taller than the time, says Mr. JJ. And also we'll see how ABs play against England. We'll reset ABs and Akira and Dalton, but slip Savi at 7 and Dalton at 8 with Frizzell on 6 and hold another 6 to stay right with the URC, says Golden Guest. Interesting. So you go Papa Lee as a number 8. Has he played a lot of number 8 in his career? Because I know another option some people were saying was Akira Ioane at number 6, number 7, Adi Savia, and then at number 8, they were thinking maybe Luke Jacobson could be an option. Cullen Grace when he comes back from his injury. And also we have got there, are we going to see stop stand bull nonsense from the books? Says, or from the box, I should say. A stop stand. So I assume you're talking a little bit of that kicking game. I'd like to think they'll run it hard. At the end of the day, you need 40 extra points than your opposition. That's not even a 40 points on the board. Any point that the Puma gets, South Africa have to try and match it, which is going to be extremely tough. Or 45-5. Says Obi there. And Budgie, what? Budgie smugglers. Pretty much you smuggle away your hidden goods, I guess. How would you describe Budgie smugglers, Mum?
Not my domain.
Not her domain. Fair enough.
Ask your father.
Ask my dad. You got to pull him there and give him time. I've got to put him there. Give him time. Ball carry was all right, but the breakdown needs work. And Papali'i, says Nathan, and also he's not a number 6 or an 8 or 6. Says JK, says Nathan. Undies, says Obi. Yeah, pretty much. They're just fancy painted undies, I guess you could say, or fancy designed undies overall. But now, looking at the next game, South Africa versus Argentina. It's going to be a tough one. See exactly who is going to come out in the early stages, because this game was 0-0 after about 20 minutes, and then it started changing. Maybe South Africa, they try and throw absolutely everything into it. I believe that's why they've gone with the bomb squad, so that they can have that 6-2 split and just throw absolutely everything into it for a little bit of the earlier stages. And also we have got their great All Blacks game, Wallabies useless, says Edu there, and the haka is the most important part in New Zealand rugby, says Sean. And also we have got their smugglers, they are a type of togs, says it was Robert. And also what a World Cup we're going to have, says John. Yeah, every side at the moment, like anyone in about that top 8 has a chance of being able to win it, which I think is why it is absolutely awesome at the moment. You watch Fozzie will start Kane again in the next test, and also South Africa will win with a bonus point, but not enough points to take over the All Blacks. And the other side of things is, if Argentina win, or if Argentina manage to get themselves a loss by less than 7, they will overtake the Australians. So that is something that Argentina will certainly be aiming for. At worst, lose by less than 7. That's going to be absolutely awesome. And also we have got there, Bernard asked where Eden Park is. It's in Wellington, correct? It is not in Wellington. That is Sky Stadium. It is Eden Park in Auckland for that stadium there. And Alberta Smith will get 2 tries when he comes off the bench, says Marco. And also we have got a new member, Kevin Layla. Thank you very much, mate, for hitting that membership button. It is hugely appreciated. We have got plenty more coming up on the near future. And also we have got there, a little bit earlier, I think I missed it. I think the boomerang is all good. Good challenge, says Golden Guest. And also welcome, Kevin. Wallabies will be at the end of the table, says Edu. And the fact that Argentina are as close as they are at the moment is absolutely massive for them. You know, at the end of the day, Argentina were that side that a few people did look at as the easy beat of the competition. But they have been anything but that throughout these matchups, which is why they are certainly a side I am looking forward to seeing in South Africa. So the schedule, for anyone who is wondering, the first one that we are doing is over on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. That will be an NRL live stream, I believe, for the first half. I am going to be joined with my mum for that one. That is going to be a very awesome live stream. The Panthers taking on the Rabbitohs. Then the next live stream we are doing after that, it is going to be the matchup between the Stormers, and they are going to be playing head-to-head up against Connacht. So that will be their opposition for the URC. That is at 12:30 New Zealand time. Then after that, we have got the game between the Box and the Pumas. Massive contest, awesome atmosphere at the ground, I would think. And then after that, if we've still got the energy, we've got the post-match review. That is a given. And then after that one, we have then got our live stream that has taken place between the Lions and the Ospreys. So plenty. Why is it not called the Cake Tin nowadays? Pretty much, I guess, sponsorship. You know, they want to get plenty of money, so they decided why not have Sky as one of those sides that, I guess, I don't know what the description would be. I guess just Sky, just a bit of licensing, bit of money coming in. The result was never really in doubt, was it? Only at the very start, I thought it looked like it could have been close, but then after that, it did slowly and surely keep on going the way of the All Blacks. I think Argentina would challenge South African forward pack. Yeah, they've got some big boys for Argentina. It's going to be absolutely awesome. See that one, like I have mentioned. But what I'm quickly going to do, I'm hoping if I go like this, to their live. Okay, I can't actually do that. Unfortunately, I was going to transfer it so that you guys knew exactly where we were going to be for the next live stream. I will get that link, though, for the Kiwi Lad Sport live stream if you guys do want to tune in about 25 minutes' time. It should be an awesome game. Yeah, looking forward to it. Main sponsor can name the value, that can name the venue, I think. And also, it's the Penrith Panthers versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. Winner of it goes through to the NRL Grand Final to play the Parramatta Eels, and that is going to be taking place in a couple of weeks' time. Going to be an awesome matchup. Looking through once more at the table for anyone who doesn't know, New Zealand sitting at the top of the bunch. I said bunch very weird. Top of the bunch, I should say. They are sitting at the top on 19 points. Then South Africa in second, they are on 14 points. So they need to make sure that they get themselves a good win here up against the Argentines. They need to win it by 40 points and get themselves the bonus point for that game. Here we go. I finally found the link. That was a very long, drawn-out link to find. But that is the link to our next live stream, ladies and gentlemen, over on the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. And then after that, like I mentioned, we've got the URC, the South African Rugby up against Argentina, and then later on maybe a bit of URC to close out the evening as well. Great game, bro. Well called. Says Jason Campbell. Do appreciate that a lot, mate. We have got plenty more coming in the near future with South Africa having to chase the game. Could open up for the RG, says Dirk. Exactly right. If Argentina play it strategically, they will, I would say, strategically play the ball at a bit of a more methodical pace. I know that sounds like a weird statement, but, you know, if you've got to roll it back, couple seconds off the clock, kick it high, and then just continuously make the Springboks wait. Because the more that the Springboks wait, the more frustrated they'll get. They'll go, we need 40 points. We need to run this. We need to try something risky. Wide cutout pass. Miliano Boffelli steals it, scores the try in the corner after passing it on the inside to, we'll say, it will be Matthias Orlando. There you go. That's a try prediction right there. It's probably wrong. Very wrong, probably. 8th of October, the Women's Rugby World Cup. Yeah, we are getting very close to getting another way on Wallabies play like amateurs. Pathetic handling errors. Yeah. 15 handling errors in an international game of rugby is just not good enough. No matter the conditions, even rainy weather, you still got to hold on to the ball a bit more than that. I think that is something that certainly cost them. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, NRL just around the corner, and then the 2 South African matches. In fact, the 3 South African matches coming up in the near future as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.